I have incredible bubble guts, and my mouth is on fire. I am exploding through my nose. My eyes are swollen damn near close to shut, and I don't know if I shit myself or not. So I went to her room and then I sat in her bed. So I'm pretty confident that anyone in the military can attest that dating in the early stages of a military career is incredibly difficult. You're still trying to get your feet wet with what day-to-day operations are, and you're still trying to understand where you fit in the giant puzzle of what the military is supposed to do. There's so many different jobs out there, and it's really hard to maintain a personal life when you got a million people telling you what to do, how to do it, and how to live your life. But that's a whole different story, and I'm not trying to lecture anyone. This story is actually my experience with Tinder. So in late 2017, I was going through a UAS school in Fort Huachuca, Arizona. Fort Huachuca is in the southernmost portion of Arizona and is just a stone's throw away from Mexico. So in between blocks of the course, I decided to download Tinder and try and entertain myself. Not in that sense. My overall goal was I wanted someone to take me around, let's say Sedona and Tucson, and try my best to find someone local to show me all the really awesome nitty-gritty places that you can't just Google. And also, my junior Marines were talking all about how lit, quote unquote, it was. There was one night where I ended up getting a match, and this particular match kind of made me raise an eyebrow because it's someone that didn't look like they belonged there. It looked like an LA supermodel, blonde hair, freaking blue eyes, beautiful, and she just was basically a dream come true in the situation that I was in. She had all the photos of her doing the hikes, and she lived in the local area, and in my head I was like, hey, why not? So after swiping right, turns out we were a match. And our common conversations day to day fell under the very generic, what are you doing, what do you do for a living, and how the weather was. But we kind of fixated on the fact that we both had dogs. I have a lovely puggle who is my daughter, and she had this other dog, and we always talked about taking our dogs out to the park. But in the back of my head, I was like, I think I'm getting catfished right now because this is too good to be true. I am at the very least marginally handsome and kind of funny. So I really don't understand why a girl like this would like me. After a few more months in Fort Huachuca, I decided to take a trip out after getting my brand new motorcycle, the CBR 1000. I took this guy all the way out to Bisbee from Fort Huachuca. While I was over there, I got a text message from the girl who I had matched with on Tinder. And then she asked what I was doing, and I told her I was in Bisbee, Arizona, taking my new motorcycle out. And she proceeded to tell me that she literally lived a few blocks down from where I was at. So she asked if I wanted to get dinner. And in my head, I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. I'm down. And I was super excited, kind of like a kid who is excited to open up a Christmas gift during Christmas. So she told me to go to this Mexican restaurant, and I just stood by there when I got there, and then I sat at the bar and I ordered some appetizers. And then I got a text message from my phone, and she told me she was about a minute away. So I kind of glanced over by the door and just fixated while the girl who, quote unquote, I saw on Tinder would be walking through that threshold. So I saw her, and it turns out she wasn't catfishing me. The second she walked in, it was one of those, I felt like a movie moment where everyone just kind of just went silent and wondered who the hell was this chick. And I looked at her and I was like, wow, you are so beautiful. Anyways, basically, the whole restaurant went great except for her in her tight jeans and her blue tube top, and I was just like, oh, Jesus Christ. So after she told me what she did and we went through the formalities of introducing ourselves, I asked her if she's been to the restaurant before. She has. And I asked her what the best thing to eat was. And she told me to get the shrimp tacos. And I was like, all right. I talked to the bartender and I was like, I'll get the order of shrimp tacos. She ended up getting something else. Little did I know that these shrimp tacos had one of those ghost pepper things in it. And if you're not familiar, it's one of those really freaking spicy peppers. So I remember her and I talking, I forgot what, but then I bit into these shrimp tacos, and then out of nowhere, my mouth just started fuming, and then I just started turning red. It's like an Asian person who just drank a fifth of vodka. They get the Asian glow, but it wasn't a glow for me. It was like just fire. I looked like an anime character. So as we were talking, I was trying to keep it cool. It wasn't working, but I started making up excuses to go to the bathroom and try and fix myself. Try to pour water over my face and just try to like slam as much water as I could. But I came back, and every now and then I would just fake a phone call and go to the bathroom. But as this night was going on, that shrimp taco made it all the way down to my stomach. And now I'm getting bubble guts. And now when I'm making these excuses to go to the bathroom, I'm just trying to figure out how to maintain composure while projectile poop is coming out of my butt. Please excuse my description, but this is legitimately what happened, and I'm not gonna lie to you. So I'm sweating so much from the crazy shrimp tacos that there's literally sweat going down my back, and I'm confused because I don't know if I just poop myself or if it's booty sweat. So here I am just sweating profusely and trying to relieve myself during this whole evening when she asked, hey, it's getting pretty late. Do you want to go take a walk around town before we both go home? And I was like, absolutely. So I paid for dinner, and then we ended up walking around Bisbee, Arizona. And Bisbee is known for some of their haunted hotels. So we made our way up the hill of where the city was at, and we were just walking to and from the hotels. And as she was showing me around the hotels, I would take a minute and look for a bathroom while she was looking at some weird exhibit, and I'd beeline into the bathroom and try and fix myself again. And that for like 30 minutes while going through all the different hotels. And by the last hotel, I came to a fork in the road. I tell her it's time to go home, or try and pursue the night by asking her to go to a bar or something. But before I can make my decision, she told me, hey, do you want to go back to my apartment and meet my dog? And in my head, I was like, all right, Gally, relax, man. Listen, you need to go home and you need to go to bed after you drink a shit ton of milk and just reattack this tomorrow because you don't want to ruin this. And I knew what I had to do. So I looked at her dead in her face and said, all right, let's go to your apartment. So we went to her apartment, and I was on my bike and I followed her there. And in my head, I was like, this is a horrible idea. Like, I'm not feeling good. I'm literally like inches away from throwing up. But why not? Let's see where this goes. YOLO. So what would Drake do, right? So I remember she walked me to her apartment, and then she opened the door to her apartment. And I distinctly remember a very musky smell that immediately made me nervous and anxious. It was a smell of cats and cat dander. And if you guys don't know me, I am incredibly allergic to cats. So I walked in, and then out of nowhere, I can already feel my eyes just start puffing up. And if you guys didn't know, I'm Filipino, which means I'm Asian, so I already have small eyes. So an Asian with puffy eyes already looks like a freaking comic book character in a bad way. So I walk in there and I'm just trying to figure out, all right, Gally, look, man, there's like a 1% chance that this night is going to go the direction you want it to. Go home and abort. I remember her walking me around her apartment, kind of showing me like the whole MTV Cribs portion of the night. And this girl, again, was just super badass. She raced horses. She liked to work out. She used to be a fitness competitor. And I remember as we were walking towards the kitchen, she broke open like a glass of wine and just started drinking it. And then she offered me some. And I declined because I was on the bike, but I remember as she cracked open the wine, she said she's gonna go to her room and get comfortable. So when she walked out of her room, it was one of those movie moments again where that song played. I forgot how it went. I'll probably play it right now just so you guys understand. Paints a better picture. But she shows up in booty shorts and a white see-through tank top. And then she sits in the foot of her bed and asks if she wanted to go talk and look at one of these photo albums. At which point I said, hell yeah, let's do it. And now, all right, let's go over what Daniel Gally is physically going through. I have incredible bubble guts, and my mouth is on fire. I am exploding through my nose. My eyes are swollen damn near close to shut, and I don't know if I shit myself or not. So I went to her room and then I sat in her bed. And then I felt something as she was talking about her photo album of when she used to freaking compete in fitness, figure I mean. I felt my stomach just getting all grumbly, and I felt like I was crowning. And I asked her, I was like, hey, do you have a bathroom that you don't mind me using? And she said, yeah, I have a guest bathroom. Let me go check if it's clean or not. So her guest bathroom was where she kept the cat litter, and she didn't want to have a guest walk in there when the cats all made a whole mess of things. So she walked in and said, okay, it's pretty dirty. Use the one in my room. Let me explain the layout of her room. So the way her room looked would be like, it was the master bedroom, followed by the sink with this massive mirror. So it was like 2 sinks, and just to the left of the sinks was this bathroom. And the point I'm getting at is there was only one door from her bathroom to her bedroom, which meant if I blew up her bathroom and opened the door, it would just open the floodgates to whatever bad news would have came out of that bathroom. So I really had no choice, because at this point I was in emergency mode and it was like critical at this point. So I said, all right, I'm gonna use your bathroom. When I opened her bathroom, I realized that this thing was like the size of a closet. Like literally, it was one of those bathrooms where when you sit down and close the door hits your knees like this. And I was like, oh shit. So I sat down and I got comfortable, and then I heard something. I heard her phone ring, and then it was her mom, I think, and she was talking on her phone. And what that triggered for me was, if I can hear her speak at like room in a room volume, that means whatever I do in here, she's definitely gonna hear. So I did the only smart thing I could think of at the time. I tried to cough real loud and just try to mask this massive poop from her hearing it. So I coughed, but blam! It was like the loudest, most embarrassing thing I've ever been through. And then in my head, I'm like looking around, I'm panicking, looking for matches, looking for Febreze, nothing. So I'm sitting there playing on my phone, wondering what to do. And I should have just went on Google and tried to figure this out. Nothing would have happened, but thinking about it now, there's nothing I could have done. But I opened the door after, I pulled my pants up, and then I see her at the foot of the bed, and then she looks directly at my face and at my soul and said, you should probably go home. And then I said, yeah, I think I am. So I went home, and I have never talked to her since.